Okay, we're back with another video, something a little bit different here, and this will run on into a few other videos. Again, everything's working out lovely behind the camera, but my schedule is a little bit tricky, so when I say something's coming, it is, but it might not be next week, that's all. So, I want to talk about Soviet armour going forward for a little bit. Don't worry, aircraft guys, there's a plane almost finished, so I know it's been a long time since we've had a plane on the channel. I feel it as much as you guys, so that is coming. But for the tankers, I want to talk about Soviet armour. I've been building a little bit here and there. I've been building a little bit of a collection, KVs in particular. So this is the Trumpeter KV8. And for those of you who don't know, it's very much like a KV1. But it's got a shortened barrel, and in there there's a barrel within a barrel because it's a flamethrower. Again, didn't do very much. There wasn't very many. Got caught in Barbarossa, and that was kind of it. But this is that kit, and the only reason I've got this one out is because this is one that I'd already had built up to this point, so I've had it on the shelf. I don't know how long. I wouldn't like to know. I'm gonna guess 2021. It might be older. It's unbelievable how the time goes on. You just watch it, you can watch it through models just tick away. All these models you bought thinking I'm gonna build that, and you actually bought it 4 years ago, and you think, oh, I haven't got round to it yet. Anyway, it's all good. So what we've got here, I've broken the little purposely. There's a little like mud deflector in there. I've snapped it off so that I can get this sprocket off, because it's not really meant to come off once you get it on there, but I can glue it back on, because what we've got here is RTM products. So that is Resin Tech Models. There we go, that's who it is, that's who we've got. Resin Tech Models. So I've been speaking to the chap at Resin Tech Models, who's been posting up on Facebook some of the stuff he's been doing. I think it started off a little bit like as this is what I've designed on my 3D printer for my model, and then it's turned into Resin Tech Models, and now he's actually selling some stuff. And I jumped on very quickly and asked to have a whole load of stuff sent for free. No, I didn't. What I wanted was a set of tracks. I've been looking for a set of KV tracks. Keep looking at the Frill model ones. I think, God, yeah, it's like £35, and I wanted two sets because there's a KV2 and a KV1 I want to do, and I don't want to use the Trumpeter tracks on those. I want to really go all out, and I'm not obsessed on the actual massive details on the tracks for these Russian tanks. What I'm obsessed with is the natural sag. So I want to do a JS2. So I want to do a JS2, which is about the nastiest, most meanest looking tank of World War II. God, I don't know what that must have looked like through the sights of oh, it's alright, I'm in a Tiger tank. Then you see a JS2 come around the corner and you go, oh. So I want to do one of them, but I only want to do one, so I will get a set of Frill model tracks for that. Again, £35, but you know, with the Tamiya kit and a metal barrel, you know, and you're only going to build one, I suppose. But I wouldn't mind building, I don't know, you know, quite a few KVs. I certainly want to do the Tamiya. So what my plan is, we'll have a little side discussion here on Soviet armour. But my plan is long term, obviously. I want to build the Tamiya KV1 and KV2 straight as a nice example of the Soviet model in Soviet service. I want to do the Panzer, the upgraded Panzerkampfwagen version of the captured KV1, where they re-gun it with a random Panzer IV, really hard to find barrel, and I want to do the Panzerkampfwagen KV2, which I've got. So that's what I'm going to use these tracks on. I know it's a German Soviet tank. They're quite unusual releases, and Trumpeter have done boxings for them which have got all the unique little bits, and it's a really nice story of just showing how, you know, through desperation the Germans are starting to reuse Soviet armour, thinking, you know, we've got a KV1 now, it's great, and at that point you've almost got T-34 85s coming out, and you think every time the Germans are just 2 steps behind. They never seem to really catch up from that initial period, and then even then, as far as tank development is concerned, they're still not really at the races. The Soviets are way ahead of them. So the tank is massive, by the way. You know, a KV1 is a huge tank. It is, he offers it up on the shelf, longer than a Tiger. So just bear that in mind. 1941. Goodness me. Anyway, so all of that will come later when we talk about, I'm going to do a Soviet armour video because I've got an awful lot. First off, we've got a link to a Facebook page. So that's how Jan's doing most of this at the minute. So that's where he wants you to go. So if you're interested in this, it's the Facebook page, RTM Resin Tech Models. The guy is Jan. Send him a message. Very responsive. I think he's on vacation at the minute, but nevertheless, he'll either respond to you or he'll get back to you when he gets back. What I bought was this. 2 sets of KV1/2 tracks. He then knew who I was. I didn't go, hello, I'm Jason from Champion Scale Modelling. You probably know who I am. But it turned out he did know who I was. So he decided that since I was one of his first customers, and I've bought 2 sets of tracks, and these worked out delivered at around £25 each, which is kind of the upper end of what I want to pay really for tracks. If I could get aftermarket tracks for £20 to £25, I'd probably use them on every model. But when it's 30 to 35 to 45, a lot of these T-Rex and all the resin ones now are like £45. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. He added in some of his other products because I said, well, I'll make a video if you want to do that. So I've got a pile of the tracks out here, and these are the Link Tracks LKZ type early war model, which are fit for KV1, KV2, especially Barbarossa time. My understanding is the only difference was the later tracks, instead of being, you know, a whole run of just one with a tooth, you have a flat link and then a tooth and then a flat link and a tooth. But they are later models, and there are alternatives of those around. I think Bronco do those. They label them as KV1, KV2, but they're not. So there's all sorts of things like that. We've got sprockets here. Now, I was wondering how I was going to show this, because I don't really want to take them off just yet, so I'll probably show them in the build. But these are they're fully on there with the supports, and I thought it'd probably be good to show you, because the way you get them off is hot water, because it's very tempting to sit there and try and snap it. But if you put these in very hot, well, very warm water, the it just completely undoes the supports. They just can't hold on, and then as you touch it, they just fall away. And then the sprocket, you just twist it and it will just come away. Whereas if you try and do it now, it will snap, because some of them have got quite tight. There's quite a thick support on this front plate. So what we got here is KV1 sprocket mount. Now how they differ is obviously, I think this is the back. No, I don't think that is the back. I think that's that. And then this plate here goes in the centre. Now what I instantly notice is the teeth are slightly, they don't quite, or do they? Oh, they do match up. I was wondering if the Trumpeter spacing might have been slightly out, and he's corrected it. Nope, so that's fine. And then you've got hub mounts there as well, which they have got more detail than the kit mount here, but they are suffering a little bit from that sort of polygoning. You know, it's like it's not smooth. It's like lines, because it's not a smooth curve. But again, with a sanding stick, that will come out in seconds. You do get that on some 3D printed parts. So that's the sprockets. I'll probably save them for a build to get them out. But yeah, if you're ever wondering how to free stuff off of supports, just get yourself like your decal water, but make it really, really hot, just about what you can bear your fingers being in, and you'll find that these parts will just twist off after being in there for about, you know, 20 seconds, something like that. You'll know when it's right, because you can just kind of go like you see here. What this has a tendency to do is snap. That's obviously just the support. So what you want to do, that's for packing. So you want to obviously break off any parts like that so you can get in, and then it's these fine bits here that if you try and cut it, you might snap it. If you try and break it, well, that's never a good idea. But again, hot water, hold it in, water covered, and then just kind of move it back and forth, and you'll find it will just peel away. Now these are very well detailed in comparison to this. I mean, this doesn't have any detail at all, nor does it have any hinges, whereas these have hinges. It's probably the most striking point. They've got larger, I know it's hard to see this, they've got larger handles, and I would assume correct, this being an improvement. Larger handles on the side there as well. You can see that overall the detail on this, there's latches, there's clasps, there's little brackets. It's far better than that. And like I said, remember, I'm not actually using any of these parts on the KV8. We're just going to build that out of the box. But as it's built, I'm using it to show you what's going on. So these are the 3 samples. Obviously, that's the stowage box 1941 model. Then I think these will be very well received. Is the wheels. So these are alternative pattern wheels. Let's go for pattern 1. Interestingly, neither of these patterns are the same as what's on here. So there's quite a lot of wheels, it seemed, on the KVs. So that's what's being called pattern 1. And the KV wheel is, the KV8 wheel is this pattern. So as far as size, we're the same. And the gap, the same, so all measures up nicely. But yeah, again, you can see overall there's far much more. Even if this is a different wheel, but there's far more detail in there, and this gives you the option as well. If your model, if the model you want to make is actually the reference is showing these wheels, then this is a way to get around it. So you've got a set of 4, 8, 12, 16, and we have how many? 6. So it's 12. So you get 2 spare, 6 on the tank, and then we've got set 2, which has more holes. I think more lightning holes. No, ridges in between the holes. So this is the other set. And they've got ridges in between the holes there. Again, as you can see, very nice detail. You would just want to run around them, just smooth them down with a sanding stick, anything like this. And once you've got them off, like you would a seam line, just go around and it'll just pull those sort of, I don't know what they're called, I've heard people call them like polygons or something. See those lines? It's just part of the design process where they're not quite smooth. If you just sand them down, it will take those ridges out. As you can see, the ridges have gone just in this section now. And you know, I spoke to Jan. I did say, obviously T-Rex stuff looks lovely, but it's really expensive. And he said, yeah, I'm the budget version. So you know, there is a little bit of cleanup needed. But that's part of it, you know, that's reflected in the price, I would like to think. So we're all modelers, and I don't mind a little bit of cleanup. Now, speaking of which, I've got the runner tracks. So what we need to do here to complete this is get a runner tracks done. Now I've made up a section like this. What each track has is it needs smoothing down on one side of the tooth, which is where there's been a support. It's as simple as that. And let's bear in mind, please, that Fruity model tracks, you need to drill every section these days. You can't just push the wire straight in. And then there's supports on here. So I find just quickly, sanding stick, that's it. That's your cleanup. Now the good news is, you get it the right way round, you snap off one of your pins and you push them straight in, and that's it. You've already got a molded in securing bolt on the side, so this is just, or nut, sorry, so this is just the bolt head going in, and that's it. And they seem to hold all right with friction, but it is suggest to cement the track pin in place. So I'm going to build up a run of these now, get them on the tank so we can just see how this looks for the final reveal. Okay, and we've got a run done. Now I've gone a little bit over the top, but the reason, you know, we're not doing Russian tanks because we like nice tight tracks like that. It's all about the sag. So as you can see, these work really nice. When I pick up the slack, you know, you can really do your... I've got one extra link on there, which is obviously a bit over the top, but it's showing nicely there now. They fit around the sprocket okay, but I imagine they're going to fit around the RTM sprocket better. Now generally I would have a bit of sag down the front there, so I haven't really got... oh, here we go. Trusty piece of IKEA cardboard, just what we need it. So that's what we do, something like that. You see, and you can see how it sits nicely. We'd have it tight at the back of the sprocket and then loose up around here, but you could also pull a bit of the slack through there. And once you've given it a bit, and obviously taken a link out, this is for dramatic effect, it would sit up nicely. But what you can see is we've got lovely sag. They're nice and loose as far as being together. You can see there's no stiffness there, so when they drop they sag naturally. Obviously they haven't got the weight of metal tracks, so you do just need to, you know, you've got a slight unusual bit there where you just press it and it will clip together. So you can see you can get a nice lot of good sag and it's smooth and realistic. We've got a KV. So yeah, all I can see is the JS2, which really did look like that. It was driving along like this, a silly old thing. Anyway, that's where we are. It's one side complete. Must have taken 20 minutes with cleanup. I don't know if I've got them the right way round, actually. I suddenly thought that. But you can pull the track pins back out if you get the right one. We have got this amount of spares. There's quite a few there. I'd estimate 20 or so. Yeah, really happy with them. They do the job. They're a good price. There's no issue. You do need to glue the pins, as you can see. Most of them are really quite tight under friction, but as I've had them upside down, they are starting to, a couple are starting to fall out here and there, and that is to be expected. But as far as a set of tracks, for ease of use, for detail, they look fine to me. These are the later style. So they're the later style full model metal tracks, as you can see, because they've got a flat piece in between, so one link is not got a tooth, but you know, detail holds up for me. It's hard to see though, I can only really use that silver link. Yeah, I mean, I think we're on par really with that. So there we go, RTM models, brand new on Facebook. Get in touch with Jan if you want to have a go at getting some of these, and he'll let you know what the price will be. Shipping is from Holland, and this was to the UK that I quoted for £25, so it'll obviously be cheaper, I imagine, if it's in Europe, and possibly more expensive if you're in the USA, but I'll let him confirm that. And head on over to his Facebook page, it's linked down below. The Facebook page is RTM Models, and he has an eBay link, which is, well, Resin Tech Models, but it's ebay.nl. All the links are in the description below. If you like anything you see and you want to head over, mention that you've seen it from me so he knows where it's come from, so that all helps us, so we know what we've actually done as far as the video, and that's great. So much appreciated to him for sending over the free samples of the stowage box, wheels and sprockets, and much appreciated for the smooth and very fast delivery of the tracks that I ordered from him. As always, thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.